Say what's cracking, YouTube? It's your boy 16 to life, and I'm back like I'm on a parole violation. Yard down! Now, this particular video right here is sponsored by attorney FARRAH Mitchell. Miss Mitchell is a lawyer who specializes in record expungement. So if you happen in the past to be convicted of a felony, and that felony is now hindering you getting better employment or even you getting better housing, contact her and she possibly can help. Her services are offered nationwide, meaning regardless of whatever state you was convicted in, she still may be able to help. She is extremely knowledgeable about laws in different states and things pertaining to that. So definitely think about bettering your future, getting your record expunged, and moving forward with your life. She can be contacted on Instagram under capital D, lowercase I, VIDENQUEEN, Dividend Queen. So contact lawyer FARRAH Mitchell, get your record expunged, and get your life back in order, man. Now let's hop right up into this video right here. So, you see the topic, man. Something about prison politics spilling over to YouTube. I haven't quite determined exactly what I'm gonna name it, but that's what I'm gonna be talking about, right? And in my opinion, man, the world is getting too sensitive. People are getting too caught up in the prison politics, right? Let's just say, for example, you have any type of content creator of whatever color. If he happens to mention a story involving another person from another race who is newsworthy, you'll often see people in the comments saying, hey man, stick to your own race, talk about your own race. That's just getting out of control, man. People is getting too sensitive, right? If a person is putting himself out there on YouTube, and he is a person that's being discussed and talked about on YouTube, or if he has a YouTube page, people shouldn't get in their feelings because a person from another race happens to do a story on him or talk about him or so on and so forth, right? Now, I can understand, right, that some things in the gang culture, some things in the gang world is held sacred, and other people do not want it being discussed on YouTube. And so it definitely all depends on the context of the nature of a conversation, you know. Going deep into the workings of any type of gang structure sometimes is not cool, right? But if a person just lightly touches on a situation, I don't necessarily see why people get in their feelings, you know. One thing I can almost guarantee is when you have a well-known news organization like Fox, CNN, KTLA News in LA, or any well-established news organization, and say they happen to do a story on some particular organization being raided by the feds, being caught up in some type of Fed investigation, a police investigation, you know, a RICO investigation, or what have you. I guarantee you that even though that is a white-owned organization, you're not going to have different races calling down there saying, hey, don't report on my people. Don't report on my people. You know, it's a trip how sometimes, man, people get so caught up in this so-called street type of thinking that they don't want people to grow. If a person is on YouTube consistently making YouTube content, chances are very likely that he's not out there in the streets, right? The other day when I did a story about G-Face, you know, now G-Face has put himself on YouTube several times. He's talking about he's a gangster, he's this, he's that, you know, he doesn't snitch, he's tough, and this and that. And then paperwork comes out where he has definitely cooperated in a police investigation. You had a few people hop into my comments and getting their feelings like, hey, chill, man, you shouldn't be talking about this Mexican dude. First and foremost, to my understanding, he's not even Mexican. He's Armenian. But that's neither here nor there in the scope of the discussion that I'm having, man. My job as a content creator is to do just that. Create content, right? I can guarantee you, I can't speak for the rest of the content creators, but I put zero feelings into any type of story that I do. I may try to do the best type of story that I do, right? But I don't have any feelings about it, neither here nor there, because the reality is what another individual out there is doing is not putting any money into my pocket, you know. I've experienced things and been through life where I've come to the realization that, you know, the only one that matters the most to me is myself and the people who are special in my life, right? So I have no feelings about what another person may do. To keep it real, you have several Hispanic YouTube creators who constantly and often do stories about black people. I don't get in my feelings one single bit, man. You've got Renegade Media, you've got Santos G, you've got Dubs, you've got Gunner, you've got American Cholo, you've got Haters World. You know, often these dudes often put out content about black people who are newsworthy, right? And I don't necessarily, I don't one bit find this stuff out of line or whatever. I remember one time I was happening to be looking for something to react to, and I was looking at Gunner's page, and I seen Gunner. Now, Gunner made a joke about some black dude, but now if you guys have watched Gunner's page, Gunner is he's a comical dude. He's a funny dude, right? So the joke he made about this black dude wasn't racist at all, man. He just made a joke about the dude. And you had people in the comment crying and complaining, complaining about that. So I just definitely believe that people are getting so sensitive to the point that, you know, it's getting ridiculous, man. We are letting YouTube and these social medias, take us somewhere else, man. A person should be able to make a joke about a person from another race and it not be considered racial if it is not along racial lines. Just because he jokes about somebody else that's from a different ethnicity doesn't make the dude a racist, man. I just think that, people want to put you in a box at certain times. They want you to stay in a box, and they don't want you to grow. Like I said earlier, if a person is on YouTube constantly putting up content, chances are very likely that he's no longer in the street. He has at least definitely turned down his beliefs and his gang ideology, because if not, he wouldn't be sitting up all day making YouTube content, right? It just reminds me, and this is a little different from what I'm talking about, but it still reminds me of long ago, back in the 80s, maybe late 80s, early 90s. I don't remember exactly the year, right? You had a movie come out called New Jack City. A very popular rapper at the time, a very popular gangster rapper at the time by the name of Ice-T, chose to play a role in that movie as a cop. And I remember there was some backlash, right? Dude saying, oh man, this dude he's playing a cop, he's sold out, he's a sucker, so on and so forth. Now just imagine that. Here's a dude who has an opportunity to get into movies. Coming from the streets, it's well documented and known that Ice-T was really out there in the streets, hustling, doing jewelry licks, things of that nature, robbing jewelry stores, getting his bread. So this dude has a opportunity now to better himself from a legal standpoint, something that he can't go to jail for. And you have dudes like saying, oh man, he's sold out, just for simply acting as an officer in a movie role. Also, more recently, a year or so ago, I seen Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg was in a commercial for whatever beer he was endorsing at the time, and he's laid back on the beach, endorsing this beer, doing what he's doing. And I seen a comment, and I don't know, who, what race, who left the comment, but basically somebody said, oh man, Snoop Dogg has sold out. Snoop Dogg now, he done hooked up with these beer people and he's making commercials. So to me, it was crazy. It was like, what did you want Snoop Dogg to do? You wanted him to continue staying in the hood, making raps about gang banging, about shooting and killing and people killing each other and stuff like that? That's what you would prefer to see? That's what you prefer to see Snoop Dogg doing, instead of inking a deal with a well-known liquor establishment or liquor company and getting legal money, probably eventually in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions. It's just like sometimes, man, the ignorance of people, it amazes me. Like I said in many videos, many of us joined gangs as kids, man, with childish like minds. The average person that I know joins a gang anywhere from the age of 14 to 17. And so now we're operating under rules that was created by children and less informed individuals, and to be 100% sometimes ignorant individuals, right? But as a man grows up, You know, if he still hangs on to the things that continuously sent him to prison and put him in handcuffs and sent him to the county jail, then he's doomed to repeat those same steps. You know, I remember hearing a person say, if you continue to do what you've always done, you will continue to get what you've always got. Meaning that if you sold dope and you constantly went to jail behind selling dope and you go back to the streets and you start selling dope again, you are going to continue to get the same results you got when you were selling dope earlier. So, you know, I think that people at a point in time, man, everybody kind of needs to grow up, man, and stop letting these prison politics filter their way into the streets or trickle down into the streets and control us on the street, or have people thinking it's uncool to do certain things, you know, because like I said, if a dude is sitting up watching or making YouTube on a constant basis, he's not out there in the streets, man. So, you know, I refuse to, even though I spent a long time in prison. And of course, when I was in prison, I did move under the rules that dictated prison, but I'm no longer in prison, man. And I'm not gonna let another individual's opinion control what I do and I don't do in terms of, you know, trying to better myself. So anyway, man, y'all get up out of that childish stuff. Y'all already know who it is. Look, special shout out to, I always have trouble pronouncing your name, man. And sorry about that. It's a lady who always supports me, who always watches my page. Chana, excuse me, I always have some trouble with your name, but her name is Chaana. Chana, and then her last name starts with a Y. You definitely know who you are. I hope everything went well with you. You said you had some issues you had to go deal with and you was a little nervous. I hope and pray that you are definitely free, that you are doing your thing. You already know who it is, man. Oh, you know what, real quick too, I want to say, I almost forgot, man. I interviewed a dude a few months ago, a month or two ago, somewhere around there. This dude had been sentenced to, I believe, 50 to life, right? And I'm not going to mention his name because even though I interviewed him, because he may not want to put it out there. He had got sentenced to 50 to life, I believe, as a kid. He recently had put in some appeals, based on certain laws that it came out, and everything worked out for him, needless to say, and he's on his way home, man. So what I'm saying is, when you go to jail because of an immature or childish decision, if you just give up, then you're going to stay stuck there. This dude, he continued to fight. He didn't give up. He definitely hasn't. He's done about 17 years. He definitely didn't do 50 years, and now he's on his way home. So what I'm saying is, if you continue to stay stuck in the mud, you will stay stuck in the mud. We have to change, move forward, and try to do better, right? Because one thing I can guarantee you is, everybody who's locked up in prison that has a chance to come home is trying to come home. And even some people who don't have a chance to come home, life without parole, death penalty, they're still trying to come home. So don't let that prison stuff control your mind to the point it makes you stuck on stupid. Y'all already know who it is, though. It's your boy 16 to Life. Resume normal program.